Welcome to Inside Plug, the podcast where independent creators and entrepreneurs connect and inspire. I'm your host, Devon Jones. Today on our show, we have actor and voice actor Mark Ebulue. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Glad to have you here. All right, so we have a bunch of actors this season, and actors is what, gets that audience in the chairs, and they want to see, have I seen this actor in something before? What are they going to bring this time? But before we jump into your projects, let's talk about you as an actor, because you did actor and you're a voice actor. But when did
Yeah.
you decide that acting wanted to be a career for you?
Um, so it's actually kind of crazy. I kind of got into acting quite late. I had kind of like I was involved in like the security industry, private security, and I was working overseas. And you obviously it kind of it can be dangerous at times. Usually it's not too dangerous. It depends where you're working. But yeah, I just remember coming back and yeah, my dad at the time he was just, telling me that, I'd kind of like you to do something a little safer, something that you've always loved. And me and my father, we used to see plays when I was growing up. His office was right next to the Globe Theatre, so sometimes we would actually watch Shakespeare shows. Like when I was a kid, with the rare chances I got to see him working, um, I go up and I just hang out with him. But he would also take me to see a play often. Sometimes we'd see a matinee during the day. So that was kind of like my first introduction into acting. It was kind of with him. And then, when I had my life and was kind of coming out and looking at different things to do, that was something that he suggested. It was kind of something that he wanted me to kind of pursue and was kind of in on it. Um, yeah, so that was kind of really it.
Awesome. So when you decided that, that you kind of got that spark for acting, was it more driven towards theater and, stage acting or just acting overall? Like, have you seen some films or other things besides of that
Yeah.
type of acting?
Yeah, my dad was a film buff. We'd watch so many films together, like spanning from the 40s to the 50s to the 60s. My dad was a big fan of westerns. So I kind of grew up on stuff like that. And but I mean, again, there was just no real kind of direct link, I think the training that we have in the UK, like we do have some schools that do more TV than others, but like primarily, like you are gonna learn theater, and it's I would say probably the more useful, the most applicable types of training. And again, it's like if you can do stage, it really transfers to every other medium.
Got you, got you. All right, Mark. So let's talk about a few of your projects that you have here. So the first project I want to talk about is a TV show. It's called Death in Paradise. So how did you be a part of that project, and how was the experience working on that one?
It was great, and I was quite lucky actually because it was just in between that gap between lockdowns and certain places were open, certain places weren't. You had to have certain things kind of in order to work. So it was really one of those kind of roll of the dices, but it's a show that I'd always wanted to go on. My mum loves it, loves that show. And yeah, no, it was great. We film in Guadeloupe, we film on location. And yeah, it was quite peaceful, obviously, because like no one's there. Um, but yeah, I had a really good time. It was really cool set as well, and yeah, everybody was just friendly, nice, and welcoming. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So then now let's jump into this next one. This next one is a little bit different. So this one is a live action advert, and it's of the video game Ghost Recon. How was the experience working on that project?
Yeah, that was actually really cool. I obviously like I do have a little bit of a military background. I've kind of done certain things before, and initially that was kind of the push. It's it. I mean, video games, again, I've never really done anything like live action before, especially for video games and especially for like a new video game. But I was familiar with the series. I kind of knew exactly what the ballpark was, and I wasn't well, I was a little bit nervous until I saw like the character that they had me go in for, fix it. Yeah, he looked exactly like me, so I just knew I kind of felt at ease, and I think that kind of transpired when I was in the audition, and I think through that. And just through me kind of just being relaxed and open and taking the direction, I was able to kind of land the role.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So with these projects that you worked on so far, and as an actor and a voice actor, has there been any obstacles that you had to overcome?
Obstacles. Yeah, I mean, there's always obstacles. I mean, do you mean like to any role that I've had to do? Or
Yeah, to any role, any audition.
yeah. Well, I did this animation. It was my first animation that I did. It was called Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. I played Marcus Holloway, like another video game character, but it was my first anime that I'd ever done. And yeah, the audition was crazy tough because the character that I was playing, he kind of there's like a time loop. So I was having to play this dude with a different accent, but also like with a different age. Like, you know, he was kind of from the beginning, in their present time, he was like pitched between 45 and 50 years old. So like having to really find that voice and then obviously finding the younger kind of tones when we kind of go back in time, that was the most difficult aspect. I kind of worked back to front with that one. I kind of went in and thought, well, the the part of it the part of the character that's most furthest from me is obviously him when he's older, more jaded. um so I was like, look, if I can find his voice there, I'll be able to find the lighter tones, pitching it more into my register when he's younger. But that was kind of like the biggest the biggest hurdle. And they wanted one actor to do both. I think there was something with the budget. They didn't have enough to hire two actors to play him at different points. They were like, we need we need you to do both. Um so yeah, that was quite challenging. But when I found it, like, you know, it was all right, it was good. And I really enjoyed the job. I really enjoyed the role as well. And yeah, it was kind of it had like a bit of a cult following. It's well received, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Mark. So for your projects, where can the audience check out your work? Do you have a website? Do you have an IMDb page?
I do, yeah. I have an IMDb page, and that's usually, yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, yeah. There's some stuff on there. I'm in a sci-fi TV show. I've got like a little small part in it. It's called Foundation. It's on Apple TV. That will be airing on the 11th of July, so that's next month. And there is another movie that I'm doing called My Mother's Wedding. It's a comedy drama with Scarlett Johansson, so she'll be in that. Kristen Scott Thomas directed it, and it's her directing debut. So I think, well, not had a release date for that yet, but it should be happening some point this year.
Awesome, awesome. We'll look forward to that. And everyone that's listening, we'll get those links in the description box so everyone can check that out. All right, Mark, we're at that part of the episode where I asked this guest this question. What is a book, a TV show, or a film that you recommend to an aspiring actor?
A book, TV show, or a film? Book, TV show, film. Book. Okay, cool. I've been fascinated. It's indirectly related, um, but not related. So I've been looking a lot at I don't know why, but I've been looking a lot at the FBI and just them as an organization, how they work, how they operate. And there are two really, really good guys that I love, Chris Navarro and Chris Voss. Chris Voss was one of the top FBI negotiators for 10 years, like during the whole Iraq War. That whole kind of period was kind of his thing. And he's got this book called Never Split the Difference. That is something that I'm reading now. It's great. I think Chris Voss on anything on and on behavior, this is kind of when it connects to acting. He's more kind of analytical, like detecting people who lie, detecting people who do stuff. But you can see how those kind of behaviors can be borrowed in acting, TV acting, because he, goes into detail of what that is and the process of why people lie and persuasion as well. And he's more like negotiating and yeah, he's more about the dance of negotiation, the dance of dialogue. Whereas Chris Navarro is more about behaviors and body language and what the body says without saying and all these kind of things. So yeah, there's a book by Chris Foster called Never Split the Difference. And I can't remember the book of Chris Navarro, but he's done a few. But to be honest, any book from Chris Navarro, he probably covers body language and stuff like that. So that's the book side. Um, so you said a movie TV show. Ooh, TV show, TV show. I've really been watching quite a few Apple TV shows. I've been watching this new show called Your Friend's Neighbors with John Hamm. Thought it was really well done. I really liked it. Again, it's one of those shows that I don't know. I just think everything about the way it was acted, the choices that were made, the writing, it was entertaining. There was a lot of, I guess, who did it, who done it, sort of thing. And yeah, I think there's just really, really good performances in that. And I think a lot can be learned from the actors that kind of were in that show. Another one I've been watching is Mobland. Big fan of Guy Ritchie. Love everything he does. I watch everything that he's behind. Um, but yeah, Mobland was great for that as well. TV shows are quite hard because you have 10 episodes, well, usually 10 episodes, and you have to find a way. What I feel, I'm not an expert, but I feel like with TV, you have to find a way of entertaining the audience, but making it narrative driven and about the story instead of just, for laughs or just for the sake of it or just, and I think Guy Ritchie has really hit that sweet spot of action, gore, and like, I guess, crime drama and I guess that hidden mystery of what the criminal underworld, of London is. He captures that really, really, really well. He really balances it out, like almost like a musical score. It has every episode has a little bit of something, and it has you thinking, who's, you know, who's the rat, who's behind this, and how does this work, and what's the connection between these people. So, yeah, Your Friends Neighbors, if you're into American TV, but if you're into the British gangster stuff, Guy Ritchie, Mobland, I think is great. It was really well done. Um, and movie, the Thunderbolts actually. I saw that recently. I saw that and I really, really, really enjoyed it. Like Marvel, I kind of feel like has been on a tightrope. There's just been there hasn't really been a Marvel title that's really kind of stuck out for a while. So it was great to see that. Um, and yeah, I just like the actors and Sebastian Stan did a really good job. It really just really blend. I think the way it was kind of constructed, all the actors really brought something authentic and different. And it kind of made you, in a weird way, kind of made me go back and watch like certain parts of the TV series because there's so much content from Marvel that just comes out and you consume it, but I feel like you kind of don't really like digest it. And you see some other stuff that they do, and it's like it makes you think. It's like, okay, cool, let me go back and kind of revisit that. So yeah, it's good. It's good when you see actors that will look at new source material, look at the past source material, find something in middle, and kind of like display that because it's quite a difficult thing to do as well. So yeah, the Thunderbolts is another one. Sinners, I saw Sinners twice. I just think that's a great movie, man. It was really, really well done. Ryan Coogler, everybody. It was great. It wasn't again like it's a movie that really stands on its own. Wasn't what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a horror, but it was. But there were so many elements to it. I didn't understand like the musical elements to it as well, blending the musical fusion of like the Irish folklore and the blues. It was fantastic. Like it was just fantastically done. You could tell that he thought about it. And um there's a lot of Easter eggs in that movie. Like, if you actually go back and you look at from the time, even the song, it's actually kind of interesting. Like if you look at the song, have you seen Sinners? Sorry.
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
I
Oh,
haven't
you
seen
gotta see it, man. You gotta see it. But like there's this obviously there is Jack O'Connell, his character, he gets these gangs of vampires and they sing this song, right? And I thought they were singing an Irish song. And obviously the whole vampire thing is not to spoil it for you, but you gotta see it. Not to spoil it for you, but obviously when they turn someone into a vampire, like they take their memories, they take their culture, they kind of appropriate everything. And yeah, it was just great the way they kind of the Easter egg that he put was that song that they were singing isn't an Irish. Well, there is an Irish song that they sing later on, but the song that they sing initially when they're trying to get in, it's a black folk song, and it was made exactly around the time the film is set. If you actually look at when oh my God, I'm gonna have to Google it. I'm gonna have to Google it now, but basically the song, I have to Google it because it is so good. And it's just like, again, it kind of just shows that he doesn't just put things in there for putting it in there. If you actually go back, do your own research and stuff like that, you'd be like, oh wow, he kind of put that in there for that effect. Um, Sorry, let me see. Sinners soundtrack.
That's some awesome insight, everyone that's listening. So when you're making a film, if it's best if you do your research to put those historical texts in there, so you're not telling us something that's, not true. You want to be as accurate as possible.
Yeah. No, I just thought the whole thing was clever, man. He's just incredibly, incredibly clever. Like the way he kind of sets things up, the way he kind of lays the drama out, like he is, yeah. And to think, he's still relatively quite a young director. Like he's really, really kind of found his groove. So yeah, those two are those two are the movies that I've seen recently that I've really, really enjoyed.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that, all of that. And everyone for those films that Mark just, shouted out. Check those films out if you haven't seen them. I myself is gonna go check out Sinners. I haven't seen it. I know I'm late to the party, but better late than never, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's good. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. You'll love it for sure. Trust me.
All right, everyone. That's been our episode for Inside Plug. Mark, thanks for joining us today, stopping by, sharing your projects, and we look forward to checking you out on Apple TV.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure.
All right, everyone. If you love today's episode, remember, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Inside Plug with two G's. We're here every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's been our episode today. Remember, stay inspired and keep creating. Inside Plug, signing out.